Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well. Gonna take you through a little algebra today. Sorry about the hat, but I've yet to shower this morning, and my hair looked like if Albert Einstein had taken his fingers and like stuck them in a light socket. So I don't want to frighten you. Let's go through this. We're gonna finish up this section in the chapter today, and it's just really a little bit of algebra. So we're gonna be converting to this equals zero form of the polynomial that we've been working with and going all the way down to the center radius form that we're looking at. So you can see with this example, we're starting with the ax squared plus cy squared plus dx plus ef plus ey plus f equals 0 form. And we're going to end up with something that's a hyperbola. You can tell it's a hyperbola because, look, minus out front, plus on the inside, which means that it's a hyperbola that opens up and down, because the y is the positive one. We know that the center of the hyperbola is -5, -4. And we know that the slope of the asymptote, slope is y over s, 3 over 2. So it's from the center point, it's up 3, down 3, left 2, right 2 from the center point, and then make that crisscross asymptotes hyperbola open up and down. But how do you get there from the equals 0 form? Up here is what we want to look at. So this is the problem as given, and you notice that what I did was I gathered the x terms in blue here. So 9x squared and 90x, I just brought those together right there. I gathered the y terms in red. So I brought -4y squared and -32y together. And the constant term here in green, we moved it over to the other side. So I subtracted 197 to get it just out of the way, because it has to equal something other than 0. It has to equal 1. So we have to move it over to the other side there. Okay, so first just gathered the x terms, gathered the y terms, moved the constant term with no variable there. And then what I did was, we've done this earlier, this is going to require completing the square. So hopefully you remember how to do that, but I'm going to take you through it again here. So notice that what I did here with these two x terms was I factored out a 9. So I was left with, if I factor the 9 out here, that's just x squared. 9 over 9 is 1. If I factor the 9 out here, that's factoring is dividing, right? So if I factor the 9 out here, 90 divided by 9 is 10x. 90x divided by 9 is 10x. And I left space here to complete the square. I filled it in with 25, but temporarily I had left space. Here I factored out the -4, so I'm left with positive y squared, because -4 over -4 is 1. And I'm left with positive 8y, because -32 over -4 is positive 8. And I left space here. Now, how did I get this 25 and the 16 there eventually? Simple. You take half of this term. We've done this before, completing the square. Take half of this term. Half of 10 is 5, which is how this gets down here. And square the 5 to get the 25. So add in the 25 there. Over here, I take half of this 8 to get the 4 down here. And 4 squared is 16. So that's why I'm adding in 25 here. Half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. And that gives me these perfect square binomials that I'm looking for in this, because that's what I eventually want to get to down here, is a perfect square binomial, right? So I add in this 25 into the parentheses. I add in this 16 to the parentheses, because half of 10 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. The half of 10 goes down here. The half of 8 goes right there. I have to rebalance the equation on the other side, though, too. Okay? So this -197 came from me subtracting over to 0. But look, this 25 was not originally there. I added it in for the perfect square. So I have to add it in here, too, to keep the equation balanced. But I didn't just add in 25. I added in 9 distribute, right? 9 times the 25. So I'm adding in 9 times 25 here. I didn't just add 16. I added in -4 times 16. And that's what I'm adding in here. So I have to readjust this side too. Okay? So basically, -197 plus 9 times 25 minus 4 times 16 is a total of -36. So what I'll do then is, look, just to recap, right? I completed the square. So just look at the top line for right now, what I'm circling right now. This is the completing the square part. And then readjusting the left side gave me the negative 36. Well, I don't want it to be equal to negative 36. I want it to be equal to 1. So I divide everything by negative 36. I divide this term by negative 36, this term by negative 36, and of course this term by negative 36 to give me the 1. That's the hard part, completing the square. After that, it's just simplifying it down. Look, I'm just reducing the fraction here. 9 divided by negative 36, I'm pulling the negative out front, because positive divided by negative is negative, right? So 9 over 36 reduces to 1/4. The 1 is implied. 9 over 36, pull the negative out front, 1 over 4. Over here, negative 4 divided by negative 36, the result's positive. 4 over 36 reduces to 1/9. So the 1 is implied with the 9 there, okay? And to move from the final step here, just envelop the whole thing in the parentheses. So look, 4 is 2 squared. So I'm just putting the parentheses on the whole thing with the square, and 4 is 2 squared, 9 is 3 squared. So that's the process I'm talking you through there to try to do this, to transform something in an equals 0 form into the equals 1 form, where we can clearly see the center and the radius of this, okay? So I'm going to ask you to do 2 to practice them. We'll go over 1 or 2 of them tomorrow. I'll show you step by step, again, how I'm getting the answers to that. Maybe it'll be helpful if I work it out live on my chalkboard in my kitchen to show you how that works. Well, if that'll be helpful, but I do want you to try them on your own, okay? Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, please.